Alright, Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutation to all the brothers and the few sisters out there. Unto the Israelite foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. Quick show to the spirit of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua. As I was sitting there listening to this earlier, it was just mad confusion. So I'm just going to build upon this particular video. Let me see if I can rewind it. And they usually give out, they be on point with certain things, but this world we live in, man, it's we in hell, man. But let's just play.
Robbie, what's on your radar today?
Well, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and the Walt Disney Corporation are currently at war over the so-called Don't Say Gay bill, which the governor recently signed into law. Critics of that law say it stigmatizes LGBTQ students and teachers and would even make it difficult for public school staff members to disclose if they are gay or in gay relationships. Now, conservatives, on the other hand, say detractors have totally misnamed the law, which does nothing except prevent teachers from talking to very young kids about highly political and controversial concepts that relate to orientation and gender identity. They've also claimed that the law is designed to target grooming, which is the idea that public school staff are using conversations about gender and sexual orientation as a pretext to actually sexually abuse the children. Now that
is correct. Now, I was sitting there thinking about it. If it was 10 years ago, maybe, 10, 20 years ago, off top, everything that this man's saying would have made no goddamn sense. And everybody would be like, what the hell are they talking about? But we live in such a messed up society where they use newspeak or take words and make it seem that it's something of importance, but it's not. And all this goes back to Esau with his unrighteous laws. All right, that he's pushing. All right. Now I'm gonna let this play out, and through all this madness that this man's saying, it's hard to filter this thing out because it's all abominable. All right, this is wicked talk, if you know what I mean.
Incredibly serious and incendiary allegation, and one I actually plan to address more fully in a future radar. In previous radars, I've explained that I do think some of the concepts taught to young kids in public schools actually fall under the category of political activism, and parents have every right to object to them. Race and equity training, often lumped under the umbrella of critical race theory, is actually the bigger offender here, but I have seen some bad instruction with respect to gender identity. I'm totally in support of the parents who don't think that's the right thing for young kids. Opponents of the bill are correct, however, that its wording is extremely vague, and undoubtedly some unreasonable parents will use the law to punish teachers who merely mention that they have a same-sex partner or acknowledge that gay and trans people exist, and thus And
you see how acceptable these things are? You hear what the man's saying? How acceptable things gotten? This is madness, man. This is utter madness. This man just basically saying that parents are using this as a point to attack the teachers, and the teachers are using. I mean, this is like it's confusion. It's nothing but madness. But this is how they want to present the thing. All right. Now they talk about gender. They try to break down. There's no gender. There's this, that, to the third, and a lot of it. All this don't make no goddamn sense. But when you hear how he's breaking it down, he's saying it, and you wonder why this place is called Babylon, because it's nothing but confusion. Okay, they made things so difficult that the easiest things that everybody known is it's hard to explain. That's why who was it? When the congressmen were asking the new judge, the new Supreme Court judge, what define a woman, she couldn't even explain what a woman is. All right? She couldn't even explain what a woman is, but now they're targeting children. And now they want to get the children from 2 years old and up, pointing at their private parts and all this other stuff, grooming them is the sight of everybody. Then you wonder why we say the things that we say. Okay? This place is far out of control, but let's go.
Understand why many Floridians are ultimately against it. Now, employees of Disney who oppose the law have successfully persuaded the company to speak out against it, albeit belatedly, and as a result of that, conservative media is going after Disney, claiming the company allows children to be sexually assaulted, etc. The best criticism of Disney, though, is the hypocrisy charge, because for as much as the company claims to object to laws that don't acknowledge gay people, Disney absolutely excuses such laws when other countries are the ones enforcing them. Let me refresh your memory. This is from my recent radar on the subject. Have you ever heard of Dominica? Dominica, you may not know, is a small island nation in the Caribbean. Dominica's government is very anti-LGBT. Not only is there no gay marriage there, but same-sex sexual activity is actually illegal. Gay marriage is also illegal in Antigua and on the Dutch island of St. Martin, where same-sex couples have to travel to the Netherlands to get married, and if the marriage won't be valid if they then return home. Yet Dominica, Antigua, and St. Martin are all locations visited by a Disney cruise line. So it strikes me as a little odd that Disney would want to denounce the government of Florida for merely approving legislation that makes it more difficult to acknowledge gay relationships in schools, but would continue to give business to an island nation that puts gay people in prison for being gay. So that's...
Which is what? It's righteous. All right? But this society doesn't push that. Let's go to the scriptures real quick. Matter of fact, no, Spirit lead me somewhere else. Isaiah 10:1, it says, let's go to Isaiah 29. Isaiah 29. Slakia. Isaiah 29 and... Slakia. 16. 15. It says, 15. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide a counsel from the Lord, and their works are in dark. And they say, who sees us and who knows us? That's who? The elites. This is all playing out in darkness. Now, everything that the man is saying, it doesn't, all that shit that he's saying and what's really being said or what's really should be complained is the madness that they're bringing in. But they package it so well that they want you to focus on something else except for the cause of the problem. Okay? And that's, I won't say that's gaslighting, but that's how this devil works. That through all the madness, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. You gotta go through all the madness to find the one thing, but that one thing is the cause of the whole entire problem. Okay, it says, surely you're turning things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. So they made things that are wicked, which is an abominable. They try to downplay the abominable thing and worry about everything else. Now they worrying about other countries where it's not accepted, but they doing business with it. You see the madness is going, is the utter madness, all right? It said, for shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not. For the thing framed say of him that framed it, he have no understanding. So the Lord created this devil to be this way. All right. Matter of fact, Deuteronomy 32 and what's it? 32. It says, for their vine is the vine of Sodom, and the fields of Gomorrah. Their grapes are the grapes of Gaul. Their clusters are bitter. Which is talking about these other nations, mainly Esau, Edom. Now, I didn't want to, I don't want to do that, but matter of fact, let's see if I can go to that nigga network real quick, because I found something that was very disturbing. I'm not going to go into it per se, But just to add, let's go. Where is it? Where's the madness? Where's the madness? I'm not gonna let it play. I'm just gonna say what it is. It says 4 men in India arrested for gang raping a Bengal monitor lizard. So another wickedness, showing that these nations are ungodly, man. So the one source of the problem is being masked by other things that's not a problem. Like when you watch football, right? And the offense is in play. They got the next play dialed up. The defense is in play. They got their defense dialed up, and somebody jumps off sides. But the offense sees the opportunity, and what do? They go and take a shot. They might take a shot to the end zone, and that shot may have been a touchdown. But or it could be an interception. But the referee would throw a flag and say, nope, this is the cause. So because of this, that didn't count. All right. So when you narrow it down, when you do the filtering, what is the cause of all this madness? Now we got grown men raping animals. You have grown men and women teaching children to be acceptable to all these things. They expected parents who themselves are stupid and slow, who believes in the system, to allow their children to go to school and being groomed to accept these things. But nobody can really point out the sources. Well, that's where our job comes along. It goes to 2nd Ezra. Wow. 6 and... Matter of fact, I should have saw that there. 2nd Ezra 6 and 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? And when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, and when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob held first, Esau the first. Read it again. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the hill of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, key to everything. And Jacob is the beginning that followeth. So Esau is the end of the world. Proverbs 9 and 24 tells you, when the wicked are in authority, the people mourn. All right? They're not rejoicing. 2nd Ezra 6, it says, matter of fact, it was the 2nd Ezra I'm thinking of. Matter of fact, yeah, this is what I want to get to. 2nd Ezra 6 and 19, it says, when they will begin to make inquisition of them, what they be that have hurt unjustly with the unrighteousness, when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled. And when you look up the word inquisition, it's questioning. And this is why we question things. All right, let me go to that real quick. Inquisition. On to the meaning, right? Meaning. It says a period of prolonged, intensified questioning and investigation. So if you do an investigation, what is the cause of the root cause of the problem? The people that's on top, the rulership. You have people like Vocab that's always want to go against what we're saying, But he will never go against the people that's actually pushing the madness. All right. Here it is, the Roman Catholic Church, well documented for over hundreds of years. Let's just stick by the last 100 years of millions of people that have been molested by priests. But there's no questioning. There's nothing. You know? They just a hush money and put it in play. But we're the problem, right? The root cause of everything is these goddamn people that's in power. It says when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then when I show these tokens, and the book shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see all together. Children of 1 year shall speak with their voices, and women with child shall bring forth untimely children of 3 or 4 months, and they shall live and be raised up. And suddenly the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouses shall suddenly be and found empty, which we are heading to famine, the lack of bread, lack of food. Going on, it says, the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, he shall be suddenly afraid. At that time shall friends fight one against another, like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that shall dwell therein. And the springs of the fountains shall stand still in 3 hours, and they shall not run. And it says, whosoever remaineth of all these I have told these shall escape and see my salvation, the end of the world. So this proving that we are in the end of the world. And all right, this proving that the time that we are in some major wicked times. Real quick. Let's go to the classic. Well, not classic one. 2 Corinthians 3, I believe is 1. This knowing also that in the last days perilous times shall come. All right, perilous, evil times, man. It says hard to do, it says to take, to approach, hard to bear, troublesome, dangerous, harsh, fierce, savage. So we come into those times. Okay? It says, for men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinents, fierce despisers of those that are good, traitors, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of the Most High. All right, which these are all the formulas of the times that we are in. We are in some dark times. We're living in some dark days, man. Okay? Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, for such turn away. And that was what Paul gave as clues of the times to come. Who else gave clues? Yahushua. Matthew 24. Let me give just a few ones and that's it. Matthew 24 and you know what? Matthew 24 and 22. Except for those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. Who's ruling the world right now? What's happening? How can flesh be saved when everything is lied upon, which brings forth evilness? All right. We are living in a time where the Lord is requiring from everybody Meaning he's bringing, the Most High Yahweh is bringing in these rough, tough times for everybody for what they have done. It says, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Then, well, jumping down, it says, Matthew 22:37. But as in the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving into marriage, to the day that Noah entered into the ark. And know not until the flood came and took them all away, so also the coming of the Son of Man be. So we're living in a time where evil is in a right position. That's what the scripture says. What? 1 Timothy 5:2. No, 3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So they're saying peace and safety, and the madness is coming. All right, all the madness is being taken place. We in some evil times. We living in some ungodly times. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find that. I'm gonna end it off on that. Ungodly. Nope, this is probably the Apocrypha. Yeah, this is the Apocrypha I'm thinking of. But you know what? Since I said it, 2 Ezra 9. It says, he answered me, then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, when I seest part of the signs pass, which I told thee before, then shalt thou understand that is the very same time when the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And how we know that the Lord is visiting? By the things that's turning up. All right? Evil is at an all-time high. So the Lord has to respond. The scriptures clearly tell you that there be spirits that's created for vengeance. So all that's happening is the displeasure of the Lord that's upon the earth. It says, therefore, when thou shalt see earthquakes and uproars of the people, which we have seen, then shall thou understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, the end is manifest. Even so, the time also when the highest have plainly beginnings and wonders and powerful works, and endings and effects and signs, and everyone that shall be saved shall be able to escape by his works and by his faith, whereby he shall believe, shall be preserved for the set perils, and shall see my salvation in my land, or in my borders, for I have sanctified them from the beginning. Talking about who? The elect. It says, then shall they be in a pitiful case, that which now have abused my ways, and they have cast them away despitefully, shall dwell in torments. For such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me. Talking about the Israelites. Okay? And they that have loathed my law, when they had yet liberty, and when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, nor but despised it. The same must know it after death by pain. And therefore be thou not curious how the ungodly shall perish, shall be punished, sorry, and when but inquire how the righteous shall be saved, whose the world is and for the whom the world is created. So we live in a time where the ungodly is being punished amongst our people, and especially these other nations. Because when I did the video before, when they're talking about Disney showing their true colors, who's the main people that's pushing it? Israel, the black woman. All right, the black woman. So here it is, this madness, and the source of the source of the problem is Esau. All right, Esau is the source of all the problems. Matter of fact, let me just end it off on this. Ezekiel 36, I believe. No, it says 35. It says, therefore, as I live, saith the Lord, I would, 35 and 11. I would even do according to thy anger, according to thine envy, which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them. I will make myself known among them when I have judged thee. And thou shalt know that I am the Lord, and that I have heard all that blasphemers which thou hast spoken against the mountains of Israel, saying, they laid desolate, they have given to us to consume. Thus with your mouth you have boasted against me, and have multiplied your words against me, and I have heard them. Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahshai, when the whole earth shall rejoiceth, I will make thee desolate, as thou didst rejoice at the inheritance of the house of Israel, because it was desolate, so will I do unto thee. That shall be desolate, O Mount Seir, and all Idumea, even all of it, and they shall know that I am the Lord. So the only way we're going to have peace and truth in the world is when the evil is quenched, which actually I should have ended off on this. 2nd Ezra 6, we'll go back to 6. And 2nd Ezra 6 and 27. For evil shall be put out, deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish, and corruption shall be overcome, and the truth which have been so long without fruit shall be declared. So that's a time that we're looking forward to, because this devil is in an all-time high, pushing his madness. So with that being said, I hope you brothers edify. Shalom to the elected nations, or shalom.